Okay, I know the kit was like crazy, but what I wanted you to see is most everything has multiple uses, and it's set up to fit in what you saw is the baseline for what I carry everywhere, and it goes into everything else. Like, this is how I will start my fire always. Like when I was in the middle of Wyoming mountains, that's how I started my fire. When I was in the log cabin where my friend, I used to train pro snowboarders, fitness and rehab and do their stuff. When we were starting a fire in their house in the middle of, I would use that because it's faster, it's easier, it goes, and I don't have to worry about using any kind of extra stuff. And it's practice. So that's an everyday carry kit. It's got to be able to be transportable. Obviously, I can't carry this on a plane. Okay. What I do carry is I carry this guy and one fire starter inside this little container with my cordage, and that goes on the plane with me. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that would go on a plane, but it does. A windscreen, you can also use it for making a tiny stove for a cup. It goes just like that. You put your sticks in, and it'll support a little pot or, you know. I'm sorry? You just make that with like paper clips and aluminum foil? That's just aluminum foil. Just aluminum foil? Yeah. There's no paper clips on it. It's just a lot of it. The other thing you do is if you're hiking out of something, the reason I carry aluminum foil is I'm a tracker, so like I can follow you through the woods. But what you do is in your car, if you're going to go on a hike, is you make a footprint of your boot and you put that in your car with a sign when you're supposed to come back. So if search and rescue is looking for you, they have your boot print. And it always shows up on aluminum foil. That's why I carry aluminum foil with me. So, I mean, that's just one of the ways to make sure people can find you when they're looking for you. Multi-use, it's got to fit a bunch of different stuff. You have to have a 24-hour kit that goes, a 72-hour kit, a 2-week kit, and an indefinite kit. You got to have your major stuff. You got to have your water, shelter, first aid. Now, first aid means you got to have medication for those of you that need medication. Dogs, you got to have dog food, extra dog food. You got to have extra medication if your dogs are on medication. Although I will say dog is probably pretty tasty if you're in a survival situation. Multi-use, multi-purpose. Bathroom, food, fire, first aid, water, and shelter. Nobody liked that joke. That's great. I'm here for you guys. Are there any questions before we call it?
What kind of gun do you carry on you normally?
Okay, guns. 22. Easiest thing for people to have is a pellet rifle. A pellet rifle will kill a fox. They're cheap, they're easy to practice with. A pellet pistol will do the same. One cock, boom. You don't need it to have CO2, you don't need to be battery operated, you don't need to be any of these gas operated ones. Get one that just, you break barrel, there's $200, you get 1,000 rounds for $10. You can kill birds, squirrels, pigeons, mean animals that are coming after you, raccoons, skunks, that kind of stuff. It'll kill them, no problem. So primarily I say people should have a pellet rifle or a pellet pistol.
A little like storable, small in the butt, AR, whatever, AR-722.
Originally made by Henry, yeah. I wouldn't, no. If I'm going to have a 22 caliber rifle, I'm going to have a rifle. I personally make sure that I have a pistol, and there's only a couple pistols that I like, and I have a shotgun and I have a rifle. Rifles, you get big animals, because you get a big animal, you're not working, and you can make stuff out of it, and it's to protect me from people far off. You know, there's bands of people get together. Katrina, go read some of the stuff that happened horrifically with the whole Katrina thing, about how people got jacked up. Yeah, I'm not putting up with that. Shotgun is great for birds, for self-defense, that kind of stuff. Pistol is more when I'm asleep and if there's a mountain lion in the camp, because you're going to have so much stuff in the camp that you can't separate. Like when I backpack, I have a bear canister. I don't care. I just toss it out in the middle of nowhere. Bear messes with it, leaves it there. You know, I go get it and open it.
Caliber, like handgun, what do you bring
I carry a 9mm. People say bigger the caliber, stopping power. 9mm is fine. It does its job. Don't go getting a weapon if you don't know how to use it. Like I was somewhere, and this cat was buying a shotgun. He's like, somebody broke into my house, and we were in here, California, and I was like, he's got this high-speed shotgun. I'm like, I teach, so I still do all this high-threat security, and I teach SWAT teams and stuff how to use this stuff. And I said, I really recommend you taking a class. I can teach it, but you just met me, so don't listen to me. Go find somebody to teach you how to do this. There's a lot of places to do it. You should not have a weapon in your house if you don't know how to use it. And this is going to be a second story to this. He said, that's okay. I've been watching YouTube videos. I was like, oh, Jesus, that's a no-go. YouTube videos for a shotgun is not going to cut it. Yeah, are you going to protect your family from YouTube? All right. When I lived in Philly, I had a boss. I was working at this gym as a rehab guy and a trainer. He's 6'4", former collegiate wrestler, 260 pounds. He had a 2-year-old daughter and a pregnant wife. And he bought her a shotgun. And a shotgun is a cool weapon because if bad guys just hear shh, they take off running. They don't like the sound. It scares them. It's like a dog barking, a big dog. And I found out that he would leave it in his closet loaded. And he said, well, she's not big enough to accidentally shoot herself. I'm like, you're right, but she's big enough to shoot your pregnant wife. I said, so what I need you to do is I need you to bring me all your weapons until we can go to the range and we go over it. So he brought me all his weapons and I kept them from him for 2 weeks. And then when I took him to the range, now this is a big dude and I'm teaching him how to use a shotgun. I go through it, boom, boom, go through a shotgun, put it down, explain it to him again. So we went over it dry. I demoed it live. I had him do it. He shoots it, he puts it down. He's like, this is a 6'4" dude with a shotgun, and he's got a right platform. And bang! He's like, oh, that hurts. And he puts it down. His wife is 5'4", 110 pounds. And I said, you got that for your wife, huh? You think she's going to be able to do that? And he said, so I went over it again. He said, I'm never going to shoot that again. It's a $1,400 shotgun. I said, oh, I got myself a shotgun. I walked out with a brand new shotgun. Didn't pay anything for it. Don't let your partner, don't let a friend, nobody, unless they've had training with a weapon, it's not worth it. Bear spray. But if you want to learn, I know a lot of people out here, if you ever want to learn, they can teach you. I think it's a good thing to have just because self-defense wise or even food procurement wise, it's a good thing to have. I don't think it's a good idea to have if you have no flipping concept on how to use it or if you're afraid of them. Learn how to use them first. So guns aren't for everybody. Anybody else? Question? About any of this disaster stuff?
Are there any of the pre-made kits that you recommend? Or just make yourself?
No, all the pre-made kits come with really crappy materials. And they have some things that are too good and some things that are not good enough. And you end up spending probably $100 less and getting substandard stuff. When if you spent like about $100 more, you would end up with a whole lot of really great stuff. And most of them are to one purpose. And really, all of this stuff I've messed with, I've felt, and I've played with, and I know it works. A lot of the pre-made stuff I've picked up. I was teaching a survival course out. I don't remember where we were, and this guy had a pre-made kit, and I pulled it out, and I went to use it, and it broke. I'm like, that's useless. Have you ever even messed with it yet? No, and it's because most of the stuff is crap, so I don't recommend most of it. Flashlights are too big. They're using C or D batteries that nobody ever uses. They don't last long and they're not very bright. This thing is brighter than a 4-cell mag light, those big giant mag lights. These things, and they make them now that are just a little bit bigger. They're about this big, that are brighter than the cop's spotlight on the car that, run off 2 of these batteries. I think CR123. The other thing that I would recommend is a digital camera, especially with the GPS locator, so you can take photos. Waterproof one. Optio makes one, and if you take photos and something happens to you, they can kind of chronologically place where you are. Or if you see something that's funky and you can't remember it, you can take a picture, and next time you see a healthcare provider, an EMT or something, you can just show it to them and say, this was here, and it gives them a grid, and they know what that grid means, or a GPS location, and they can go help that person. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Because if you don't have the medical skills for it, don't go lifting a car off somebody, because then they're going to bleed out. You know, you're going to pick it up, and all of a sudden they have a femoral that's being blocked with a piece of metal, and then you lift something, or you pull them out of something, and you rip that open, and they're dead in 30 seconds. You know, so take a photo of them. If they're breathing and they're cool, and they can, I'll send somebody to help you. I'm not messing with you. That's what I would do.
Just going back to the lights, do you have any suggestions on headlamps?
Surefire makes an amazing one. And if you don't want to use Surefire, I would say Princeton Tech. Those are the two companies that I would use. Lights for your head. Like, I have one.
Or the
And
flashlight too, right?
yeah, I use a Surefire flashlight. Oh, I didn't go through any of this for you. That's too bad.